Emmanuel is disgusting. I really hope Angel Reese kills it in the WNBA.
What is going on, people, and welcome on another episode. This is going to be part 2 to the last video. So if you have not watched the last video, make sure you go check it out because you're going to get the entire tea to what is going on. Or if you're not going to watch the entire thing, you might as well just watch the last teach. That lady narrated everything that happened from A to Z. I'm sure this is going to give you all the information that you need on how this entire conversation started. So this is about Emmanuel Acho's commentary about Angel Reese reaction post game, saying that she has been through so much. He literally said she is the villain and she's not allowed to cry because she lost, that she should be able to take a L. He said he's going to give his take in a neutral and racially indifferent way, but what he went ahead to say was just something that got a lot of people pissed. Before he even made that statement as well, he acknowledged the fact that Black women are historically the most marginalized group in America. And a lot of people are saying, if you know this, then your next statement shouldn't have been out of your mouth. You should have just stopped at that point that you said Black women are historically the most marginalized group in America. But he said he's going to remove race from the equation, a situation where race is one of the problem, and start judging a Black woman. Without wasting much time, let's get right into more of the stitches from the first part.
I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take. Now, if you want to say, well, Acho, cater your take based upon gender, Acho, cater your take based upon race, I will understand that. But I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take.
So we just gonna start with erasing the fact that she is a Black woman and she sits at the intersection between race and gender. First mistake.
Angel Reese, you can't be the big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog. Because if you want to act grown, which she has, if you want to get paid like you grown, which you are, if you want to talk to grown folks like you grown, which you did post-game when you told a coach for an opposing team, watch your mouth. If you want to tell people get your money up, then post-game when you take an L, you just got to take it on the chin.
Kind of how you took it on the chin when Van Lathan called you out for the ways that you speak about Black people? Sure.
Self-proclaimed to be the villain. Shout out to you because you were the second best basketball player on the court and it was not close. Outside of Caitlin Clark, it was you. 17 and 20. Dog. Showed up. Biggest game, second biggest game of your career. Absolute dog. But you can't, under any circumstance, go to the podium and now try to ask for individuals to give you sympathy. No one has sympathy for the villain. You painted the bullseye on your back. Why are you surprised when people shoot at you?
Coming from you, who sat down with a group of police officers talking about how Black people view police officers, and you decide to use that scenario, that example of painting a target on your back and being surprised when people shoot at you. Nice, Emmanuel. Nice. It's interesting how many times some of you will like to vilify Black women for being what is considered acceptable. Now, Angel Reese didn't self-proclaim herself as a villain until the media outlets started calling her the villain. And she decided that she was going to stand in it, no matter what. And you yourself did not deny that she's a talented young lady. But you don't like the fact that she was boasting about and proud of her talent. You don't like the way that she did it. I don't see you calling out that media outlet that decided to call Caitlyn America's sweetheart and basically Angel Reese the hood girl. I didn't see you calling that media outlet that did that. But it's always interesting how y'all decide to talk about what Black women should be like. And then you tried to talk to her like she was a child. Like she didn't have a choice between being an adult, which she is, and being a child. And then you're vilifying her for crying because it's her last year. She's a senior going to the WNBA. She can't be emotional? Where's your humanity? Because last I checked, humans actually cry. when they actually feel things. So you have no feelings? I'll say this. Kenza actually said this first. Emmanuel doesn't make content for melanated people. He really doesn't. And he will stand at the forefront to make sure that he will make Black people look less than, so he can be palatable to non-Black people. And who's the best case for you to stand your ground with? Black women. Emmanuel is disgusting. I really hope Angel Reese kills it in the WNBA.
So I just want to take 2 seconds to talk about this Emmanuel Acho Angel Reese situation. And I'm only talking about it because I think it would be a blatant disservice to my platform that I'm growing to ignore the coonetry that is amongst us, the raccoon behavior that needs to be stopped. Not only does he have a platform that literally is made to appease white people, but he also has horrendously bad takes that are marred in very articulate words that always come off like he's about to go off. Like Emmanuel Acho always looks like he's about to drop some nuggets, like he's gonna give you something good, and then he drops straight dookie turds. So anyway, he's not really that guy anyway. And giving too much attention to someone who, you know, is not that guy is not good, because all press sometimes is good press, but whatever. This take that he made about Angel Reese is despicable, because when you try to separate what in our current society you cannot separate, you could not take race and gender out of anything that happens in society. And it's also a liken Angel Reese to a four-legged animal, and to also imply that because she basically bought into the villain narrative that people gave her simply because she was a competitor and she won a championship, somehow she deserves to be threatened, somehow she deserves to have fake AI nudes made about her, somehow she deserves all the things that she's getting. It's almost like Emmanuel Acho acted if like Angel Reese popped up and was like, I'm the villain. Like he acted like she tried to be Dylan Brooks or even Draymond Green. Angel Reese was relatively quiet when she was at Maryland. Even her whole year at LSU, people really weren't giving her that villain narrative. She only got the villain narrative when she took down Caitlin Clark and won a championship and did the "you can't see me" back to a white woman who did it first. Then she was a narrative, and then she was a villain. And then I think at that point she's like, well, am I supposed to run away, or am I supposed to let my nuts hang and just buy into it? And so, yeah, she bought into it to some degree, but I think she was just rolling with the punches. She was rolling with what society gave her. And the fact that she didn't roll over and cry has people all up in arms. Yeah, when you put a camera in someone's face who's ending their college career, who's already going through it because they lost, yeah, they're going to be emotional because they're recapping everything that they've gone through. And she went through a lot in front of a lot of people at 21 years old. And now she's sitting here recapping in front of the camera. So yeah, she was emotional. Is Angel Reese a dog? Is she going to keep crying after that one day? No. And I don't think she wants y'all's sympathy. I think she just wanted y'all to know what she's been going through that she has not talked about. And that's fair. So Emmanuel Acho's...
I'm about to give a gender-neutral, racially indifferent take.
It's always interesting to me where somebody says they're going to give a gender or race indifferent take on something where gender and or race are crucial to actually understanding the topic. Because Emmanuel Acho, like a lot of people on my For You page, are saying that Angel Reese is a self-proclaimed villain who was the big bad wolf and is now crying like Courage the Cowardly Dog. And she's a quote-unquote villain because she's the biggest trash talker in the league, but other players also say that Caitlin Clark is the third biggest trash talker in the league, and that she's only taking the villain role because the media has already painted her as one, so it doesn't bother her if that's how they want to perceive her. And as for crying like Courage the Cowardly Dog, actually look at what she was saying. She's received death threats, she's been attacked online, she's been sexualized, and she's been threatened, and that she's going to just continue to unapologetically be herself. It's not really crying, just explaining that the past year has been difficult because of all this hate. And it made me think, why do we hate some people that trash talk and then idolize others who do? Because we love Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Kobe Bryant for their trash talk. And then also athletes in other sports like Conor McGregor, Muhammad Ali, and John McEnroe. But then the sports world hates somebody like Emmy Martinez for his trash talk and shithousery so much that they make a rule against him. But then when Kylian Mbappe says something like South American football is inferior to European football, the media doesn't really cover it at all. I do think gender and or race plays a role in why we idolize some trash talkers and villainize others. As long as the trash talk is nothing offensive, then I think it's totally fine. In short, Angel Reese does not deserve the hate she is receiving because she did nothing wrong.
You can't beat a big bad wolf, but then kind of cry like Courage the Cowardly.
What I dislike the most about sports media is when they make these type of statements. So you have Angel Reese, who is crying and giving an emotional account of her humanity and also some of the things that she's experienced in the past year since winning a national championship. Then you get Acho here, who is saying, you can't be the big bad wolf and then be emotional. You can't be up here crying. And what sports media does is they always take context out of it to make these statements. They act like nobody asked her a question that made her say this. And they respond to it as if she just was up there and just was talking and this was what was on her heart and she had to say it. Disregarding the fact that the reason why she is even crying is not because she's emotional of the loss. Like, obviously she is sad about losing, but it's because her teammates just gave a passionate plea on the behalf of her greatness and toughness and how much she supports them as a teammate. And then soon after, a reporter follows up and says, how do you feel listening to your teammates talk about you in such a way? And then you can get the continued waterworks, and then you get that response. The response in which she says, I do not get to defend myself often. I oftentimes just ignore it and I let things be. And that is the person who he is saying is on there crying like a cowardly. It's not the case. These people make her point. You can't even listen to her talk and see the humanity in what she's saying.
So I was done making videos for the night, but I saw this and it really pissed me off. So I'm back on here. I need more content anyway. First of all, I want to start by saying Emmanuel Acho is a coon. He is the definition of a coon. Everything he does is about making white people comfortable, getting acceptance from white people, and getting white approval. Everything. If you saw that special that he hosted that season where they had the Black Bachelor, and then it came out that the woman that he chose had gone to like a plantation frat party or whatever it was, they got Emmanuel Acho to host a special about that and about racism and all this and that, because they knew that he was going to be incredibly mild on that girl because he seeks white acceptance. So what he's talking about here, I couldn't find the video on TikTok to do, well, actually, let me be honest. I didn't look for the video on TikTok so I could do a stitch because I'm like, I'm just going to take this screenshot and go with that. So he's talking about Angel Reese's post-game comments. And he's saying that even though Black women have typically been the most marginalized group, I'm going to choose to give a gender-neutral, race-neutral take. So first of all, let me start by saying I have zero interest in hearing from a man on anything having to do with women, period. let alone a Black woman. I'm not interested in anything you have to say because you don't fucking get it. Then you're going to say that. So you're basically going to say, I'm going to throw these people being the most disrespected group in the world completely out the window so I can say what the fuck I want to say. So what he's claiming is that Angel Reese said that she embraces being the villain, which my understanding is she meant on the court. She meant being a dog when she plays. And if you embrace being the villain, then you can't cry and ask for sympathy later. So you're talking about Angel Reese as somebody who has been the recipient of a lot of racism in the press and by so-called sports pundits. She has received death threats. They've found every single way to call her ghetto, a moron, everything. She's talking about her experiences in a press conference. She's not begging anybody for sympathy. She's talking about what happened, which is her right. So for you to go on national television and say that a Black woman does not deserve sympathy is incredibly harmful when you are talking about the group of people that are the least safe and the most disrespected in the world. How is that not clear? How do you not understand that you saying out of your mouth that she doesn't deserve sympathy is harmful, not just to her, but to other Black women? How do you not get that? And so my thing is, it could have been phrased a completely different way. Like, it could have been phrased saying, I personally don't have sympathy for her, which it still would have been completely fucked. But you could have then reiterated how oppressed and marginalized Black women are and how much harm Black women come under. You didn't. You basically sat there and said, well, if you say that you enjoy being the villain, you deserve whatever you get. Then you tried to, when people brought up the death threats and the racist treatment, then you tried to come back and say, oh, of course I don't agree with that. But that's not in the clip that this is from. The clip that is on Twitter that I took the screenshot from, he's not saying that in this clip. And he posted this clip. So you're being incredibly reckless with what you're saying, yet you claim to be so intelligent. So what I'm saying is, fuck Emmanuel Acho for life, which, by the way, I already felt this way. After I saw him host that special, I already felt this way. So I'm not surprised at all that he said this, but I just wanted to come on here and say and reiterate, since I've never talked about this on my TikTok, fuck Emmanuel Acho for life. He is the king of coons. He always will be. And if you ever see this, Emmanuel Acho, I want you to know you will never be accepted by white people. The acceptance and approval that you crave, you are never going to get it because you are a big Black N-word to those people. That's what you are. You are the scary N-word that they're going to cross the street to get away from when they see you. Okay? So I want to make sure you understand that. And so when that happens to you, don't go in front of people or make a video or get on TV and ask for sympathy because you're not going to get it.
The people are asking the same question over and over again. How are you saying you are going to make a gender neutral and racial indifferent take when you know that these things are needed to actually be able to understand this situation going on? It will have been a different take if our race happens to be another. There is one of the stitch this man said, why some people hated for their trash talking and some loved for their trash talking. And I think that is a very good question. I feel like so many people are right at the fact that they just hate this lady for being unapologetically herself, like for just showing up for herself. And now they are twisting and saying that she made herself the villain. She literally ran with the narrative of what she's been called. She did not make herself the villain. Nobody wakes up in the morning and say, I want to be the villain. They are just so angry about how tough she has appeared and how tough she is. And this is the reason why they think she does not have the right to cry. And this is why her tears kind of seem like she's seeking sympathy. It is her last game. And as someone who has humanity, it is okay to get all the feels. And she should be allowed to be vulnerable and let those emotions out. It must have been a tough job to even appear as the tough that they think she is, because you can tell that she's only been that tough because of how the media has painted and how they have shown so much hate towards her. This comment I have here said, Acho is 100% correct. Evie is the head that wears the crown. She aren't no different than any other black female great people in the game. Another person said, racist white folks made Angel the villain just because LSU beat their great white Clark. There was another stitch as well who mentioned this, that the racist white folks are literally the one who made her the villain. So it's almost like just responding to saying, okay, if you want to call me a bigot, then no problem. I agree. I'm a bigot. So do whatever it is you want to do. And now they are calling her the villain. Another person said, so where is the video defending the men players that are called villain? She did swimsuit spread, set a crown in seats before the game. I love trash talking in the game, but can't do it then cry after losing. But the fact is that she did not cry after losing. She wasn't even crying because she lost. She wasn't crying because of all of that. She was so emotional about the things that she has been through when that's how she felt after her teammates had answered the question. Another person said, this isn't his first time. His disclaimers before dismissing Black Americans is common. Last time it was from his Nigerian perspective. There are so many people saying, whenever Emmanuel Acho speak on Black issues, 98% of the time is wrong. He just does not like Black people. He's used as a messenger towards Black people. There are so many people saying every time he opens his mouth to talk about so many things, he is 98% wrong. Another person said, this man is consistently wrong. In matters of race, his priority is to be mediator, to serve racial topics to white people in the most soft, digestible, and manner possible. Another person said, Emmanuel continuously put himself in positions to give commentary on Black Americans when he does not have the literacy to do so. Last one I have here said, I am sure he thought he was reading the room and thought hating on Angel was the right way for him to go. He is a paid actor at this point. What do you guys think about Emmanuel Acho saying that Angel Reese does not have the right to show emotion because she is the villain or because she made herself the villain? Let's continue this conversation in the comment section. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe before you go and turn your bell notification on. And I will see you guys in the next one.